What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, if you like this content that's coming to you, go hit that subscribe button. Hey, if you're hearing this on the podcast, man, go like and comment and actually give me a 5-star review on all your streaming platforms, whether it's Google Play, Apple Podcasts, whatever. But today, guys, we are here for the Week 3 game recap. Texas versus Rice. It was a complete blowout from Texas. Way to go, guys. Guys, this was one of those games where it was like if Texas didn't do this, we would have more questions. Texas did do this. They did have a blowout, 58 to nothing. You know, there really aren't too many questions answered. What we can say is that we know that this team has the ability to bounce back and do what they have to do over that gut wrenching loss that we had at Arkansas last week. However, I think Texas has found their quarterback. Casey Thompson looked very good last night, very poised in the pocket, the whole nine. But let's get into some of these Nino's Corner stats, guys, and let's just talk about what went on in the game. So first off, let's look at the running backs because this is what happened in the game. This is what propelled this game to be such a blowout. We had 4 running backs that had NCN numbers at 100 or better, actually almost 100 or better. So first off, let's go with Mr. Bijan Robinson there. 13 attempts, 128 yards, 9.85 yards per carry, 4 first downs, guys. So out of the 13 attempts he had, 4 of those were for first down. So that's 31% first down per attempt. He had 3 touchdowns. So that means 23% touchdown per attempt, which is amazing. Almost 1 out of every 4 carries was a touchdown. Bijan had 2 explosive plays at a rate of 15%, XP per attempt. And out of his 13 attempts, guys, 8 of those were successful plays. And guys, when I talk about successful plays, those are plays that are positive plays going to actually get a first down. So on first down, you need at least half the yardage to get a first down. On second down, you need at least 70% of the yardage needed to get a first down. And on third and fourth down, you got to get 100% of those yardage to have a successful play. Bijan's SP rate was 62%, which is amazing, guys. So 62% of the time he touched the ball, it was successful. No fumbles for him. So kudos to Bijan. The guy who had a hell of a game, guys. Let's look at Rojo, man. Rojo did his thing. 3 carries, 112 yards. Most of that was capped off by that 72-yard run where he showed his strength and his legs. Rojo had a hell of a game, guys. 37.33 yards per attempt. 3 first downs on 3 attempts. So guess what, guys? 100% first down per attempt rate. 1 touchdown. So a 33.33% TD to attempt percentage, and 2 of those runs were explosive plays. So 67% of his attempts were actually explosive in nature, and all 3 of his runs were SP. So just so successful plays. So guys, 100% successful play rate for him. Kudos. Rojo had a hell of a game, guys. It was good to see him out there running the ball. The first 2 games, he didn't have the best, game when it came to just strictly running the ball, but he was very effective, actually catching the ball. But this game, guys, he showed that Rojo is that guy. It was good to see him run like that. Next guy is Keelan Robinson. He's our transfer guy from Alabama. First off, the first play that he had, guys, was that blocked punt that went for a safety. An amazing play. When you look at the old teams to Texas and just saw what made these teams great, what made these teams great was some of your best players like a Michael Griffin, a Nathan Basher. Those guys were on your special teams. Michael Griffin had a ton of blocks, a ton of punt blocks, a ton of field goal blocks. Yeah, this guy was a first-round draft pick, all pro in the league. He was a great player. When your best players are willing to put their life on the line on special teams like Keelan Robinson did, that's when you know that you're having a team that is player-led and that is able to do what they need to do on the special teams to get there to win the game. But Keelan had a great punt block for that safety, but he also ran the ball pretty well as well. So he had 156.31 NCN rushing, 5 attempts, 83 yards, 16.6 yards per carry, 2 first downs, so 40% first down per attempt rate, 1 touchdown, so a 20% TD per attempt rate. So and 1 explosive play, guys. That long run he had, I think, for 62 yards. So his XP per attempt is 20. And out of those 5 rushes he had, 2 were successful. So he had a 40% SP rate, no fumbles, guys. The other guy, Jonathan Brooks, 99.86 NCN rushing. So he had 9 attempts, 63 yards, so 7 yards per attempt. And out of those 9 attempts, 4 were for first down, so 44% first down per attempt rate. So 1 touchdown, 2 explosive plays, so a 22% XP rate. And 5 out of those 9 attempts were, successful plays, so a 56% SP rate. No fumbles for him as well. And last but not least, guys, we got to look at Gabriel Watson. So Gabriel Watson, 8 carries, 33 yards, ran the ball really hard, so 4 yards a carry. He had a 38.57 NCN rushing, 2 first downs. So, what's that, 25%, rate at a first down. So he had no TDs, no explosive plays, but 3 successful plays. So basically 37.5% SP rate, no fumbles at all either. So Gabriel Watson came in true cleanup duty time. They didn't do him like a really good service. I think at that 4th and 5, he ended up running the ball as well. So that kind of got his NCN rushing, number down. But he ran the ball hard. Showed some very good nimble feet as well. So guys, if we take a look at the Texas wide receivers, let's start off with the running backs once it came to receptions. You only had running back. Yeah, only one running back had a target or a reception, and that was Bijan. So he had 1 target, 1 catch, 14 yards, 1 first down, and no TDs on that. And that was an SP as well. So a successful play. So that was the only back that actually got a catch in the game. But if you take a look at these wide receivers, let's start off with our main guy this game, and that is Xavier Worthy. He had a 69.9 NCN reception. He had 8 targets, 7 receptions. So that's a 88% catch percentage. So he had 88 yards, guys. His yards per target were 11 yards per target, yards per reception, 12.57 yards per reception, 4 first downs, guys. So 4 out of his 8 targets were for first downs, so 50%, and 4 out of his 7 catches were for first down, so a 57% first down per reception rate. 1 touchdown, which was an outstanding back shoulder pass from Casey. So his touchdowns per target is 12.5%. He had 2 explosive plays, guys. So his XP per target was 25%. And 5 out of his 7 catches were successful plays. So 62.5% SP per target, 71.43% SP per reception. Out of those 88 yards, 66 were YAC, so yards at the contact. Explosiveness. Meaning that Casey's either getting the ball in front of him so that he can take the ball and keep running. There's no turning or jerking to get the ball. He is actually getting the ball in front of him and allowing his guys to go make plays, which is really good. So kudos to Worthy. I thought he was the best receiver of the game last night, hands down. And he did his thing. So you see what Sark's doing. He's getting the ball into his playmakers' hands. So that's Xavier Worthy, that's Bijan Robinson, that's Rojo, and that's Casey Thompson. Just slinging the ball around. Next guy on the list, if we want to look at just wide receivers, let's look at Josh Moore. 2 targets, 1 reception. I think that 1 reception was from Hudson Card at the end of the game in the 3rd or the 4th quarter, but a 59.42 NCN receiving, so 50% catch percentage. 1 first down. So that was a successful play, and also that was an explosive play as well. So XP per target is 50%, SP per target is 50%, and SP per reception and target respectively were 100%. And he had 19 yards after catch, so YAC. So next guy, it's probably gonna be Jordan Whittington. Jordan Whittington had 1 target, 1 reception, 7 yards. 40.14 NCN receiving. Not much to actually report there. The big news, though, was Marcus Washington got the start. He got a target. He got a reception as well, 17.45 NCN reception, but he only got 1 yard. Okay, so, wasn't that big of a splash for him. Who else, guys? Moochie Dixon had 2 targets and a reception, guys, so for 22 yards, 1 first down. What else did Moochie have, guys? Moochie had 1 explosive play, 1 successful play. So that catch he had was explosive and successful in nature as well. And our last receiver to get the ball was Kai Money, and that was a mop up duty as well. So one catch, 7 yards, 40.21 NCN receiving. Nothing much to report there. I think the key news that we want to talk about here is getting the tight ends involved in the offense in this game. So 4 targets this game for tight ends. One for Cade Brewer, who had a reception, for 6 yards. One for Jarrett Wiley. Well, actually, three for Jarrett Wiley. He had three targets, 3 catches, 26 yards. Jarrett Wiley, 79.76 NCM receiving. K Brewer, 39.4. Jarrett did have 26 yards and a touchdown. So kudos to Jarrett Wiley for doing his thing. He had a hell of a game. So he's just a physical beast, man. Was he 6'7", 250, 255? So to see Jarrett Wiley do his thing like that is very refreshing, because he's one of those guys we would love to see line up more here on the 40. So those are the individual stats. Let's take a look at the team stats now. So with the team stats, Texas had a hell of a game on the offensive side of the ball. Their NCN offense was 90.6. So 90.6, the NCN average across the NCAA is 40 points. So how did they get this, guys? 621 total yards of offense is what I'm counting here. These are my unofficial stats. They only had, they had 2 turnovers. So one interception in the first quarter, where I think it's the second drive for Texas. Casey gets hit off a guy coming in unblocked. Ball comes out fluttered and has a pick. And then in the fourth quarter, there's a turnover on downs with Watson on that 4th and 5 there on the goal line area. So that was a turnover on down. So those are the 2 turnovers for the Texas offense. I got no sacks in the game, 621 total yards. I have for the game 1 penalty on the offensive side of the ball. They only allowed 1 tackle for loss. A lot of that is due to Bijan's ability to not get tackled for loss. Bijan's amazing, man. He fought for every yard he had. And I'm counting that the team had 8 touchdowns. So yeah, 8 times 7, yeah, plus the 2 points. Yeah, that's 58 points. So the overall team successful play rate is 56.5% for the entire game. Per quarter, though, first quarter, the SP rate was 38.46%. Second quarter, the successful play rate for Texas was 71%. I mean, that was amazing. That's where they blew the doors open on that. They got 243 yards and 4 touchdowns that quarter. Third quarter, the SP rate was 44%, and fourth quarter, it was 50%. Casey actually did 1 drive, I think, in the third quarter, and then it was off the Hudson Card. Guys, but I think, let's be honest, this is Casey's teams now. I know it's just against Rice, but we shall see what's going to happen here in the future. But Casey just had a lot of poise in that game. Let's look at our opponent, Rice's NCN offense, 42.31%. Drastic difference between them and Texas, almost 50-point difference. They were highly unsuccessful in the first and second and third quarter. They were actually below the NCN rate for a college team of 40. In the fourth quarter, they picked it up. They were pretty efficient in the fourth quarter, but that was because Texas was definitely playing the backups. But yeah, 42.3%. Nothing really to actually report here, guys. They had 2 turnovers. They had 3 sacks. Well, they allowed 3 sacks, only had 242 total yards. They had 3 penalties on offense. They allowed 1 tackle for loss as well. And they had no TDs. And so their SP rate for the entire game was 39%. A lot of that had to do with them having the ball in the fourth quarter for an extended period of time, and they had an SP rate of 53%. But if you go back and look in the first quarter, they had an SP rate of 14%, which was very good for the Texas defense. Second quarter, 53%, which is weird. They didn't have many drives there. They actually drove the ball down and got into the red zone. Texas defense stopped them in the red zone, and they ended up missing that field goal, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the third quarter, they had an SP rate of 33%, so not good at all. So Texas defense did their thing against that Rice offense. Now the Texas defense, their NCN defense was 56.8%. Well, not percent, but 56.8 points, guys, which is outstanding. No interceptions. They had 3 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 4th down stops. They had 1 4th down stops. Texas defense had how many? 0 penalties on the Texas defense. Outstanding. 1 tackle for loss. We got to get that number up. And they allowed 0 touchdowns. So, kudos to the Texas defense. They were successful over 52% of the time for the entire game. But in the quarters where they were the strongest, you're looking at that first, second, and third quarter. They had an 86% successful play rate in the first quarter, 47% in the second quarter, and a 50% in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, 27%. They kind of let Rice drive on it, but those are garbage yards. The game was over. And also, guys, when we take a look at the Rice defense, had a 19.9 point NCN defense, totally horrible. They had a SP rate for a defense side of the ball at 32.2%, which is horrible. I won't go through those guys. They had 3 penalties. They allowed 8 touchdowns. They only had 1 tackle for loss, no sacks. They had one pick. Kudos to them for getting the ball, but other than that, their defense was horrible. Texas ran all over them. So those are the NCN numbers for the defense and the offense, and also the individual skill players, guys. I put some stuff up on Twitter last night, just talking about Casey Thompson and just the things that he did last night. And Casey played primarily in the first half, so I will read you off some of his first half stats. You guys know I'm big into explosive plays, big into successful plays. So in the first half, Casey had 17 pass attempts. 9 of those, I'm sorry, yeah, he had 17 pass attempts. 9 of those pass attempts were successful plays, so a 53% SP rate for passing attempts. And 4 out of those passing attempts were explosive plays, so 24%. So nearly 1 out of every 4 plays for Casey was an explosive play, meaning a play over 15 yards or more. Casey had 2 rushing attempts. Out of those 2 rushing attempts, 1 was successful, none were explosive. But the totality of Casey's first half, 19 total passing and rushing attempts, 10 successful plays at 53%, 4 explosive plays at 21%. So over 1 out of 5 plays were explosive for Casey. And over half of his plays were successful, which is a good range that you want your quarterback to be in. And also, guys, let's look at some other key stats here. For the first half, Texas, 68% of the Longhorns' first half offense came from explosive plays. So 268 explosive play yards for Texas in that first half. So awesome. Great game by Texas. I don't want to spend too much time on this game because it just was against Rice, but it was very good to see this Texas team do their thing and come back with a vengeance, guys. We needed this. Texas needed this for sure. This is one of those games that you want to bounce back from, get that sour taste out of your mouth from the Arkansas game. But let's go just a couple more things when it comes to the Texas quarterbacks versus the Rice quarterbacks. Rice, substituted. We had 3 or 4 quarterbacks play last night. But Texas versus Rice quarterback passing and rushing success rate. So total 38% for Rice. Total for Texas, this is Hudson Card and Casey combined, 58%. 57% successful play rate for Texas when it comes to passing, 37% for Rice. And then running the ball, 67% for Texas versus 40% for Rice. So Texas bested them in rushing and passing when it comes to successful play rate. And the totality was by 20 points as well for the successful play total. Now, if we take a look at this on first, second, and third down and fourth down, for the quarterback. So Texas versus Rice quarterback passing success rate per down. On first down, Texas 67% success rate on first down, meaning every 2 out of 3 passes that they threw on first down was a successful play, meaning that they got at least 5 yards or more. Rice was 50%. Second down, 44% for Texas for successful plays, meaning that they got at least 70% of the yards needed to get a first down on second down. Rice at 33%. Third down, Rice at 17%, Texas at 50%. So meaning, on third down, it's a 50-50 chance that Texas was going to get all the yardage needed to get that first down. And then we had a couple, fourth downs. Texas was 100% on fourth down on getting a first down. Rice was at 0%. And so just other different things that I track to, guys. Explosive play yards per down. Looks like Texas had 397 explosive play yards for the total of the game. So that equated to 64% of Texas's total yards came off explosive plays. Rice, on the other hand, they had 66 total explosive play yards. Only 18% of their plays came off of uh, XPs. Texas offense explosive plays yards per quarter. Like I said, 397 yards of total explosive plays per quarter, guys. 80.54% of Texas's first quarter yards came off explosive plays. 61% came off XPs in the second quarter, 65% in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, we just kind of, cooled it down and ran the ball. And so fourth quarter, you're looking at 0.36% overtime. They didn't have overtime, so 0%. And Rice, take a look at Rice, guys. Rice XP rate. They only had explosive plays in the fourth quarter when Texas put in the backups of backups. So 44 yards of total offense in the fourth quarter, and 44 explosive play yards in the fourth quarter there, and that equated to 67% of their total yards, or say 47%. Actually, 47%. Texas offense XPs per down. So 62 total plays of offense for Texas, and explosive plays for down 19%. So they had 19% of their total plays were explosive plays. And out of those 19%, 64% of the total yardage were explosive play yardage. Rice, on the other hand, 4% of their total plays were explosive plays, only had 56 yards. So that was horrible for them. So yeah, guys, awesome win for Texas. Texas needed this. This was a game that Texas actually needed. They needed to win this game. They needed to win it the way that they did, and I'm glad that they did win this game. So, on that note, guys, man, I am going to head out. I'm going to let you guys know that we are out of here. Do you guys, don't be afraid to fail, outgrow your environment, understand your brilliance, man, and let's look forward to week 4. We play Texas Tech next week. It's an early game. I think 11 o'clock Central. So yeah, let's get it, guys. Ninos Corner. I'm out. Salute.